Hey, what is happening, guys? Happy Saturday morning. Hope everybody's having a good weekend thus far. I'm heading out to the beach a little bit later this morning, but I got a little bit of time to kill waiting for someone. So I figured I'd get a video out. I was going to make a video about eBay suing Amazon for poaching customers. We kind of talked about that story a little bit yesterday. Maybe I'll try to get that one out tomorrow. I decided to do a video on a company called Sezzle, which is actually a Shopify app called Sezzle. And Sezzle is kind of like, if you guys remember PayPal's, I forget the name for it, what is it, Pay Later, where somebody can buy, I guess, traditionally, we would think eBay, somebody could buy something off your eBay store and not pay for it up front, pay for it later. But, PayPal Pay Later can be used by any PayPal customer, so it can be used on websites or a Shopify store that accepts PayPal or whatever else. Sezzle is kind of like PayPal Pay Later, except it works a little bit differently. So, you would download the Sezzle app. The Sezzle app would become another payment option on your Shopify store. And how it works, and here's another cool thing too. So under each of your Shopify listings, under your product listing where it shows like the price at the upper right hand corner of the listing, as well as like the add to cart or buy now button, right under there's going to be a little Sezzle icon, and it's going to say, buy this with 4 easy, if it's a $100 item, it's going to say buy this with 4 easy payments of $20. And if the customer chooses to pay with Sezzle, what they'll do, they'll wind up paying for a quarter of the item. So, on a $100 item, they'd pay $25 upfront as an initial payment. And then over the next, every 2 weeks from here on out, they would get another $20 payment. So they pay $20 upfront, 2 weeks later, another $20. I'm sorry, I think I said $100, $25. They pay $25 up front. 2 weeks later, they pay $25. 2 weeks later, they pay another $25. 2 weeks later, they pay another $25. At that point, 4 times 25 is $100. They've paid off the item. Now, Sezzle is interest-free to your customers, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little bit harder to find the fees, but I kind of dug into the fees a little bit. So as long as they make these payments, it's going to be interest-free. And it's kind of like, I believe that's how PayPal's Pay Later worked. I believe if you paid it off within 6 months, there was no interest. If you don't pay it off within six months, then they're really going to hammer you with the interest. So that's essentially like what it is and how it works. Like, why is this important to you, right? Like, I don't think my customers really need, my average ticket price is like $60. Do people really need credit to buy a $60 item? Dude, it would blow your mind. So when we instituted this, we really didn't expect too much from it. Like, we do have some items, packages, whatever you want to call them, that run $300-400. We do have some customers who will make really large purchases, but for the most part, I would say $60 to $80 is kind of an average checkout for us. And you would think, do people really need to finance $60 or do people really need to finance $80? It's amazing how much people are doing this. So we have kind of a network of 3 Shopify stores, and these Shopify stores collectively last month did about $50,000 in Sezzle payments. Now keep in mind, that's not people paying by credit card, that's not people paying by PayPal. This is strictly Sezzle. $50,000 in sales just off people using Sezzle credit. And that really kind of blew our mind. And that's one of the things with Shopify apps. A lot of times I kind of look to I've talked about this before, a lot of times I kind of look to my own consumer behavior, and if I think something's dumb, I kind of write it off, when in reality, just because I think something's dumb doesn't mean other people will, or doesn't mean people won't use it. And just like a perfect example of that, these, what is it, the social proof, how you get these little boxes pop up that when you're shopping on a store, Jim from Arizona just bought one of these as well. And you sit on the page for 5 more seconds. And it's like Tony from Pittsburgh just bought one. And it's like, I know people aren't, depending, sometimes I'll see that in Orbitz or booking.com will do that. 63 other people are looking at this listing and there's 2 flights left. It kind of creates a sense of urgency. And normally with Shopify stores and smaller businesses, I can see right through it, especially because they have their thing to say somebody's buying every 15 seconds. But nonetheless, even though I think that's kind of dumb, it works. And Sezzle is another one of those. I never really expected people buying $60 or $80 worth of goods to finance it, but they do. And from a consumer, or I guess from a personal finance standpoint, I think this is kind of dumb. If you don't have $60 to buy something, obviously you can use Sezzle for larger purchases, but if you don't have $60 or $80 to buy something, or really any amount of money to buy anything that you want, you really shouldn't buy it. You should wait until you have the money and then just, pay for it in cash. That's kind of the Dave Ramsey in me coming out. But Obviously, as e-commerce store owners, we want people spending money. And so not only can this allow people who otherwise wouldn't be able to buy to make purchases from your store, but also it's going to get you higher average ticket sizes. So maybe you sell drones and you have like an upgraded remote that's, an extra $119. And maybe the person normally wouldn't buy that upgraded remote because, hey, I got my drone, it comes with a remote, I don't have any more money. But, I can get this, this better remote with a bigger screen or whatever for just, 4 easy payments of $33. Like, oh, okay, I'll do that. So let's see, pay over time, split your purchase into 4 installments with only 25% down at the time of purchase. We never charge interest, no hidden fees, pay nothing if you pay on time. Because we charge a retailer a processing fee, that's where we make our money, not by charging you hidden fees. Pay nothing if you pay on time. Higher approval rates, no impact on your credit score. So Sezzle has one of the highest approval rates, and that's something people probably wonder about. Sezzle does not actually do a hard credit check. I'm not sure what their system is. They must tap into some kind of system that kind of vets you to some extent. But there's no credit check for the buyer, and almost everybody gets approved. And for you, the merchant, here's something people wonder about. It's like, oh, well, great, like if it makes people spend more money, but like I don't want to be on the hook if these people don't wind up paying their bills. Sezzle pays you up front, and Sezzle's the one who has this credit relationship with the customer. So if the customer doesn't pay, you got your money from Sezzle. That's Sezzle's problem. Now, what is it going to cost you as the merchant? The actual app itself has no fees. The app is free to download. The only fee is if you take a payment, it's a per transaction fee, and they essentially double up on your merchant processing fee. So if you have Shopify payments and you're paying 3% processing fees, Sezzle is going to charge you an additional 3%. So it's going to be 6% in processing fees. You can negotiate with Sezzle, especially if you're a bigger business or if you have really good merchant processing rates. So if you have merchant processing rates just above interchange at like 1.7%, Sezzle will match that and do 1.7%. So you're at, what would that be? 1.7, that'd be 2.4% or whatever it is. Sezzle will work with you. They will negotiate and they will match your merchant processing rate. Let's see, let's choose Sezzle. Okay, I think we got a video here showing this in action. So they select the item. You see that 4 interest-free payments of $12.75 with Sezzle, as opposed to paying, was at $121 or whatever. So they're going to pay $50 up front. Or actually, I'm sorry. Instead of paying $50, they're going to pay, what was that, four payments. So right now you're just kind of seeing somebody go through the Sezzle menu. Okay, so I think that cut off, but that's kind of what it looks like. That's what's going on. Here's kind of another cool feature. Sezzle has a store directory, so you can see all the merchants working with Sezzle. They really have merchants from every category. I mean, they have boutiques and beauty. They have skincare, cosmetics, steel supplements and nutraceuticals, clothing. Tiger Fitness, another supplement brand, clothing brand, skateboard company. They really, a lot of supplement companies, Redcon, BPI, a lot of boutiques. So Sezzle really has people from every industry. Now, who they advertise this is best for, what type of merchant. They say if you have a lot of younger customers. Now, I find this stat hard to believe. They said only 33% of young people have a credit card. Which is kind of a good thing. It means young people aren't getting into debt. But they say 33% of people have a credit card. So there's, 67% of young people who don't have a credit card. So here's a way to allow them to, I hate to say overextend themselves, but overextend themselves and buy more on credit. Either buying things that, again, they otherwise wouldn't buy or that are going to up your cart size. And so they say if you sell a product that caters to a younger audience, that you'd probably be a good candidate for Sezzle. Also, if you sell, I think higher ticket items make a lot of sense as well. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised to see that even with $60 and $80 average cart sizes, people were still using it. But if you sell, drones for $400, or if you sell DJ equipment for $400, or really any type of like electronics, anything more expensive. Allowing people to pay for it over time is going to get more people to buy. I think on average, if you look at most of their case studies, it's up the average cart anywhere from 10 to 30%. So yeah, that's kind of a cool app. I'm starting to see a lot more companies utilize this and start to work with this. It seems to be becoming a lot more popular, and I think that's because it actually is pretty effective. Like I said, initially I thought this was kind of stupid. But 10% increase in AOV, 17% increase in sales, 22% increase in average order size. Jared Lang, 20% increase in sales, 12% increase in conversion rate. And it works with Magento, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and they have an open API, which means you can integrate it with WooCommerce or really pretty much anything else. So again, completely free to set up and sign up. You can sign up right here. You can also sign up through the Shopify App Store. But I haven't heard too many people on YouTube talking about this app, so figure we make a video, talk about it a little bit. Let me know your thoughts if you guys have used this either as a consumer or a merchant. Would love to hear from you and what your experience was. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below, and we'll catch you in the next video.